absolutely gorgeous day in our nation's capital. Seattle against the Washington Redskins here at RFK Memorial Stadium. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones along with Randy Cross, and we have a great game for us to kick off the 1994 season. The Seattle Seahawks, the Washington Redskins. Offensively, there are two parts that we want to talk about. The first part is what everybody is talking about, of course, the young quarterbacks.
Oh, why not, Charlie? They're the marquee guys. They're the stars. And for Seattle, it's Rick Meyer. He set a lot of records last year as a rookie. He's really improved a lot. Tom Flores is ecstatic about the progress he's made. And the one thing he has to improve, touchdowns to interception ratio. For the Washington Redskins, the caretaker of the quarterback position is John Freeze. And don't be fooled. You're going to see a lot of Heath Schuler today, probably 15 to 20 plays.
All right, now that's what everybody is talking about, but you and I know that offensively, the key to the ball game rests with the running backs.
Much more boring stuff, but two very little known 1,000-yard rushers. Reggie Brooks had a great year last year and has a healthy offensive line in front of him this year. And the Pro Bowler from Seattle is Chris Warren, and this kid can run. He's big, he's physical, and he can cut on the ball. Look for 8 to 9 man fronts today, and the emphasis on the running game and not on the quarterbacks.
And what a moment in time this is for this man, Norv Turner. The Redskins' new head coach. This is his first head coaching job, and this is a moment before the first kickoff of the first regular season game, and he will always remember this moment. On the other side of the field, Tom Flores. Well, there's a landmark today for Tom. He could win his 100th ball game in his career as a head coach. The Redskins have won the toss, and they're going to receive. John Casey will be kicking off for the Seattle Seahawks. Brian Mitchell and Ricky Urbans are the deep backs on the return for Washington. Brian Mitchell, number 30. Urbans, number 32. They want Mitchell to handle all of the returns. He takes it 4 yards deep. He comes out with it. He's to the 15 and is going to be dropped at about the 18-yard line. And John Freeze, the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins. And here is that offensive line together again, a veteran line led by Jim Lachey at left tackle. The backs and receivers, the key that we were talking about, and that is number 40, Reggie Brooks. Last year, he rushed for 1,063 yards.
And this is an offense when they go to 3 wides. They'll use Titus Winans. The emphasis, short possession-type passes. Keep an eye on Henry Eller.
Washington opens at their own 18-yard line, first down. And Freeze opens up throwing. He comes underneath the coverage to Brian Mitchell. And Mitchell is going to be dumped at the 23-yard line. So they'll pick up about 5 yards on the play as we check out the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. The front seven, the key there, of course, is number 96, Cortez Kennedy. He is really a force inside. The secondary led by the free safety, Eugene Robinson, number 41, one of the toughest hitters in the NFL.
And the real key, watch Waters and Robinson. The Skins want to match Ellard with one of those guys in the slot in nickel.
Second and 5, here's the draw, Mitchell. First down, Redskins.
Remember, this is an offensive line. Had injuries. It's been racked up. Lachey had a knee. Schlereth had all sorts of problems last year. They're back. They're together. And it's a team that works as well as a unit as any of them. Look at the blocking combinations up front, opening up the gaping holes. And having 2 backs now, no power back like Norv Turner's used to with a big physical fullback. But with Brooks and Mitchell, they can hit holes quicker than probably anybody in the last 20 years here in Washington.
First down, Redskins, their own 31. Freeze to throw. He comes sideline. He's going to pick up the first down. Henry Eller at the 43-yard line. Eller now is only 6 receptions away from his 600th in his career.
And what a fabulous addition for the Washington Redskins. A guy that can come in, is familiar with this Ernie Zampese type of offense that Norv Turner runs here in Washington, to teach these young receivers where they're supposed to be. You can't teach speed, you can't teach a lot of thought of things, but when you're a young team, you can teach them where they're supposed to sit.
Redskins this drive at their own 18. Back-to-back first downs. Freeze a screen. It is tipped incomplete. Broken up by Rufus Porter. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Redskins ball at their own 43-yard line.
Rufus Porter got some nice pressure there, Charlie, and he's got a little competition going on with Tez Kennedy. He says he's going to have a little sack race coming from the top. Gets his hands up on this screen, but you know the important thing for this competition between these two guys is Tez's sacks were way down last year off the year he had in 92, and Rufus Porter only had 1.
He said we have a sack belt.
It's a small belt right now.
But it will grow as the season gets along. All right, here's Reggie Brooks. And he is turned away. Whistles had sounded before the ball pops loose. You're going to mark it for a gain of about a yard on the play. So we'll call it 3rd down and 9. Again, it was Rufus Porter who was right in the middle for the defense of the Seattle Seahawks.
And this is an offense on both sides of the ball we're going to see today that's better off going directly ahead. They talked about the backs for Washington wanting to hit the holes. Same for Seattle. You can't go sideways in these offenses. You've got to run the ball directly at them because both these defenses have very good lateral speed.
Ricky Irvins is the remaining back in this set as Ellard comes across in motion. And frees to throw. Has time. He goes deep, and it is incomplete, but a flag is down. Desmond Howard is the intended receiver. And remember, this was 3rd and 9.
Pass interference. Defense number 25.
Pass interference on Robert Blackman.
And
a very costly foul.
Very much so, Charlie. We're going to see a lot of this the first month or so of the season with the new bump rule. They can't touch the receiver after 5 yards. It's always been 5 yards. It hasn't changed. It's just the officials were willing to stretch that 5 to 8, 9, 10. Not this year. They've been told if there's contact after 5 yards, the flag goes.
So they'll spot the ball just outside the 38-yard line of Seattle, and it's a 1st down. 3rd first down in this drive, the first by penalty. No score in the ball game. 12:05 left to go. First quarter, opening drive. Freeze again, throwing on 1st down. Dumps it off right side to Reggie Brooks. And he will step out at about the 35. Carlton Gray was closing on him. Tom Flory's very high on this cornerback.
Oh, very much so. People in Seattle say this will be one of the better cover cornerbacks in the NFL, but he's going to have to support a lot of these today because Norv Turner is going to want to dump a lot of stuff off short to his running backs and use the talent of Brooks and Mitchell coming out of the backfield because not a lot of speed at wide receiver for the Redskins.
Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And here's a sweep to the right side. It is Mitchell. He is around the corner and out of bounds. Eugene Robinson was chasing him. And it's going to be a 1st down.
This is a real confidence builder for the Washington offense. A lot has been said about the quarterbacks and who's going to play, and it's going to be Freeze. And why isn't it Schuler? And to get a first drive of the season going just like this, with the ball being thrown in the air, Norv Turner, he scripts a lot of plays every week, but he couldn't possibly script a better start that he's getting out of his offense now.
He said he scripts, what, like 10 plays? And then he says, but I don't always stay with him.
It's a checklist more than a demand list.
Pump fake, he wants to go deep, has a man open, touchdown Redskins. Desmond Howard, that is his first touchdown as a Redskin. This is his 3rd year.
The Redskins thought they could get the corners for Seattle to bite, and it's exactly what happened. You saw Blackman went with the fake, and Desmond Howard's wide open.
Chip Lohmiller out of the hole of John Freeze. With Trevor Manage, the snapper, the extra point is good. And the Redskins move on top 7-0.
Norv Norv Turner and the offensive coaches for the Skins noticed last week against the 49ers, the Seattle cornerbacks were biting a lot and giving up things on the inside. They figured out and up with the pumps, we're going to get them. Talk about a confidence builder for a guy that needs it. And a confidence builder for a quarterback. I called him a caretaker, but right now he's the temporary star of the offense in Washington.
That's right, but as you look at Desmond Howard, and the Redskins need production from him. They put together a film of his last 2 years in college and his great receptions and showed it to him. Then they showed him his receptions in the pros. Not near as exciting. Said, you've got to go back and do what you were doing in college.
Desmond Howard has to play like this. He has to be an impact player, or he's going to be a salary cap victim. They're going to take money from Desmond.
And here is the kickoff with Bates and Vaughn deep. 5 yards deep in the end zone by Michael Bates. It'll be down. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Rick Meyer will start his second season for the Seattle Seahawks. This is his offensive line. That is an offensive line that averages 315 pounds. It is big. Backs and receivers, the man to watch, Chris Warren, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
And when they go to the nickel, they'll bring in Rob Thomas, but also keep an eye out for 81 Michael Bates, a burner, a bronze medalist.
And Seattle opens on the ground. It is Chris Warren. And there's just not a lot there. Ken Harvey makes the stop. Let's check out that defense of the Washington Redskins. There is the front seven. Look at the rookie, Lamar Mills, number 72. He is a rookie free agent. He is the surprise of the defense. And in the secondary, the veteran is Darrell Green, number 28. He ran a 4.2 in minicamp.
I can't relate. But when they go to nickel, they're going to use this rush. Watch Leonard Marshall and Ken Harvey getting a chance to work together. Marshall worked with Lawrence Taylor, really does some great things to free up a talented guy, and Harvey was a little banged up on that last play.
Seattle's first opportunity in offense, 2nd and 9. And Chris Warren again getting the call. He went to Robinson High School here in Burke. That's in the Washington area. He was at his mom's house yesterday in Fairfax, and he came back and he said, I'm looking for tickets, guys.
I need 100. How many did you get? 20.
This is a tough ticket here. You found that out when you were playing.
Oh, there's a lot of people in Congress and Senate that can't get seats in here.
3rd down and 1. The ball at the 29-yard line. Redskins lead it by a score of 7-0. Just over 9.5 time remaining in the first quarter. Confusion for the Seahawks. Meyer takes the timeout. Will step aside. Redskins lead it 7-0.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile. By Burger King. Value every day. Have it your way. By the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And by Heineken. Just being the best is enough.
Welcome back. Just over 9.5 left to go. First quarter. The Redskins out in front, 7-0.
Ken Harvey went off the field with a little ding, looked like his wrist or his stomach, and this is a guy that, hey, preseason, he's almost spoiled these fans. You know, they're used to seeing him play for the Arizona Cardinals, wrecking the Skins offense. He had fumble recoveries for touchdowns, sacks. This guy can do it all, and he's in a show-place piece.
3rd down and 1. Play action fake on 3rd and 1. The pass is complete to Tracy Johnson out of the backfield, and a first down just outside the 35-yard line. So a gain of 6 and the first down. In case you just joined us, we'll take a look at this and then we'll bring you up to date. Here's a look at ground level.
Tracy Johnson's a running back that Tom Flores is excited about. He was in the Atlanta Red Gun offense for a while. Then he came into Seattle and has been very little used, but he's extremely versatile. He's a guy that can catch well out of the backfield, and he can also run the ball well.
First down, 35-yard line, play action fake. And then a scramble up the middle and diving across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. So it goes for 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Now here's what has happened in the ballgame in case you just joined us. The Washington Redskins took the opening kickoff and moved 82 yards in 9 plays. The touchdown pass of 27 yards from John Freeze to Desmond Howard. Freeze, by the way, on the drive, completed 4 of 5 passes for 50 yards. The touchdown came at 11:06, time remaining first quarter. Then the kickoff to Seattle. They had the ball in the end zone for the touchback. Started this drive, their first opportunity on offense, from the 20-yard line. And here's Chris Warren right side. And he is going to be turned away a couple of yards from the first down marker. And it was Andre Collins, the outside linebacker, who got him.
Warren had a little stop and go there. And stop and go works pretty good in the certain minor leagues and in colleges and in high schools, but these guys move too quick. If you're going to take the time to stop and you're not Barry Sanders, your go is going to be short-lived.
It's a big stop and a little go. Third down, actually about a yard and a half to go for the first down. And it is not there as Chris Warren is dropped for a loss by Darrell Green. Darrell Green, an interesting statement to us yesterday.
He's excited. He says there's no real paranoia around here. We don't know who we are. On this play, you know who you are, Darrell? You're a team that gets penetration from the defensive line. Great penetration from Tyrone Stowe up the middle to really thwart that run, and then good support from Darrell Green. I think this is an enthusiastic, semi-young. They still got some pretty good age on them, but semi-young team.
He said yesterday, tomorrow, we'll find out who we really are.
Called it the X Factor. We don't know what X is.
Here's Rick Tootin and the punt, and Mitchell goes back, fields it at the 4-yard line, slips one tackle, ball comes loose, Seattle may have it. The Seahawks start to celebrate. They say they have it. It's still not official. And now it is official. First turnover of the ball game.
An old football saying, Charlie, when you make a mistake, don't make it doubly worse by adding another one to it. One thing you don't want to do, I know it's exciting, I know it's early in the year, it's the opener, you don't feel a high punt about the 5-yard line, and then you don't add to it by putting that ball on the ground and coughing it up. Just a bad judgment on the part of Mitchell catching that ball in the first place. Not a bad hit, but bad ball maintenance.
And we believe it is Terry Wooden who recovered the fumble. And Seattle now sets up shop at the 12-yard line of the Redskins' first down. Trailing in the ballgame 7-0. Here's the pitch to Warren. Warren around the corner. He high steps it into the end zone. And so Chris Warren immediately capitalizing on the fumble recovery that Mitchell coughed up.
Well, on his last run, he had to stop and go, and this was go, go, and more go. Watch the blocking on the outside he has. You're going to see it as a safety would. Watch the area open up. The offensive line, they have bodies on bodies. Great blocking and excellent acceleration into an opening by Warren for 6. I mean, this is what this guy can do. He's 6'2", he's 2 1/4, and he moves.
And John Casey for the tie. Out of the hold of Rick Tootin. Trey Junkin is the snapper for the Seahawks. And it is good. And we are tied at 7, 6:53 left in the first. This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross. We're at RFK Stadium. Now is 6:53. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. And this ball game is tied at 7. John Casey now will be kicking off for the Seattle Seahawks. Ricky Irvin's number 32 and Brian Mitchell, who coughed up the ball when he was hit by John Vaughn, recovered by Terry Wooden, set up the touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks. So Mitchell and Irvins are the deep backs on the return. The temperature about 71, 72 degrees. A few clouds, sun is shining, an absolutely gorgeous day to start the 94 season. Here is Mitchell from the 5. He's at the 10, 15, 20, 25. And up in it, ball comes loose again. The Redskins have it.
I'll tell you, if Joe Gibbs was still with the Redskins, Brian Mitchell would not see the light of day for the rest of the day, putting the ball on the ground twice like that. On that touchdown, Charlie, you ever been on the freeway? Oh, here's the fumble. Watch, bam, comes the ball. Wow, that wasn't so much a hit as the ground caused that fumble right there when he landed.
So the Redskins will start from their own 28-yard line, first down. Their second opportunity on offense. Freeze, who is 4 for 5. He goes deep. Pass is complete to Ellard. They're going to mark it at the 47-yard line of Seattle. A first down, of course, with Gray and Robinson making the tackle.
You know, Charlie, I got the impression talking to Seattle, there wasn't much respect for the Washington offense from the Seattle defenders yesterday. And I think the way the offense has started, I don't know if there's any more respect, but they definitely have their undivided attention because they know where there's weaknesses and they're attacking.
Freeze opens with a 25-yard pass. Here's Reggie Brooks. And he is going to be stuffed. They may mark it to the 46. It'll be second down and 9, and Jerry Wooden was there to greet him.
So was Tez Kennedy. I mean, you hesitate to call him a defensive. You almost want to call him defensive tackles. I mean, this guy's amazing. Size, quickness. And I tell you, he's got an attitude. He's got a point to prove. He dropped off dramatically in sacks and tackles last year, and he wants to rectify that big time.
Freeze, a quick drop. Looks outside, comes back in underneath to Reggie Brooks. And Brooks is going to be stopped at about the 41, so it'll go for 5. It'll be third down and 4. And Freeze, albeit a caretaker quarterback, does not look like he wants to give up the job.
I don't think so. Yeah, he came here. He's got a 1-year contract. It's sort of been the story of his career in professional football, Charlie. He says, I never bought a house in San Diego. I didn't know where I was going to be. I don't know where I'm going to be next year. I just don't worry about it.
Third down and 4. Ball game tied at 7. The handoff underneath to Irvins, and he is dropped by Tez Kennedy. Oh, he fell all over him. For an update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Charlie, at New Orleans, Marcus Allen gained 43 yards on the drive, and Joe Montana finished it off 11 yards to Willie Davis. 7-0 Kansas City. That's a first quarter score. They lead the Saints. Let's go back to Washington. Charlie and Randy.
All right, thank you, Greg. We are tied at 7 here. As Reggie Roby will be kicking to Kelvin Martin. I get a kick out of Roby.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. He wears a watch. I think he has it for his hang time. And a fair catch is called for, and he does have great hang time. We'll step aside. Seattle 7, Washington 7, back in a moment. We're tied at 7. Seattle first down, their own 13. Rick Meyer last year in his rookie year, Tom Flory said he would call the play, and then I could watch him as he would turn and go to the line of scrimmage. He would figure out what the play was on the way to the line of scrimmage. He would say, there he was over there, and he's here, and I think that the corner, now if he does that, he said all that was going through his mind. He says, but now it's entirely different, but he did have a great year.
If we look at the numbers, probably Seattle does not want this young man to be hit as much, 47 sacks. And I mentioned it earlier, that touchdown to interception ratio will drop with his knowledge of defense as growing as it is.
And he comes out throwing into a crowd. He drills it to Brian Blades, and the Redskins had double coverage and is close to the first down. Let's see where they spot it.
It's interesting, Charlie. You mentioned the fact that he drills this ball in. It's probably the one difference people mention the most about Meyer and Bledsoe from last year, that Meyer is more of a touch quarterback. Bledsoe's more of the gun. And there was about a 2-foot crack for him to try to fit that ball in, and he got it to him.
And it is a first down at the 24-yard line. And he gives to the second back through, Chris Warren. 6 yards to the 30. It'll be second down and 4.
It amazes me how few people know about this kid Warren. I mean, a 1,000-yard rusher the last 2 years, a Pro Bowler, and the more you see him, the more names like Chuck Foreman and Eric Dickerson start sort of coming off your lips, because you look at the way he runs. He runs very upright, but like those great runners, he takes very few shots. You'd figure that big a target to get pounded.
Second and 4. Meyer to throw, has pressure, he's sacked. Tony Woods gets the sack.
All Tony Woods has done this preseason is surprise everybody in this sensation. And here, he surprises the house, Howard Ballard. He gets that ripped through on Ballard's right shoulder, and Ballard, as big as he is, cannot stop him. What a great power rush by Woods.
Woods, of course, played with the Seahawks for 6 years. He was with the Rams last year. It is now 3rd down and 11. Meyer sets, throws, passes, complete. Close to the first down. It is Kelvin Martin who slipped the tackle. He may be short.
You get hit hard enough, Charlie, you will get a little shorter.
That's right.
He might be a little short at the first down. You're right.
Yeah, he started at 5'9". He may be 5'6". You're right.
This is a talent reception. A great catch, a nice move, and just using your abilities to try to get the first down. But Morrison, the rookie starting at safety for the Skins, comes over and really lays it to him.
And it was not where the foot went out of bounds. It's where the ball was when the foot went out of bounds.
And as fast as the foot in the ball started going backwards after that hit, that's not an easy spot.
So it will be 4th down and, just a couple, maybe 3 inches for the first down. Do you gamble this early in the ball game?
You refer to this as a no-brainer, Charlie. You kick the ball. It's early. It's early in the season. You don't want anything else negative to happen. This is a bad momentum stadium for a visiting team. You don't want to add to the avalanche if something bad happens.
Ball game tied at 7. Rick Tootin will be kicking, and Brian Mitchell is the return man. He sets up shop at the 20-yard line.
Rick Mitchell will wrap the ball up when he gets it, Charlie?
Oh, I figure that he will. Or he may stay away from it. And he does that, and he goes out of bounds. Be sure to be with us on NBC next Saturday. The excitement of Notre Dame football returns to NBC. It is Michigan and Notre Dame, and what a great ball game that will be, presented by the U.S. Postal Service.
Paulus
next Saturday at 2:30. Go ahead.
4 touchdowns by Paulus, the Notre Dame quarterback. I mean, a press agent doesn't write that good of a start for a young guy. I mean, they've been waiting for a year now for this kid to finally get on the field, and boy, did he show it.
And he's wearing Rick Meyer's number.
Much to Meyer's chagrin.
That's right. Meyer was talking about that yesterday. The kid's got my number. From the 31-yard line, here is Reggie Brooks. And not much there. And of course, maybe Joe Montana is saying that Meyer had my number when he was there.
Exactly.
Rod Stevens with the last tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 9. The Redskins, an opening 82-yard touchdown drive in 9 plays. Freeze to Howard, 27 yards on the touchdown. Following a turnover, Chris Warren from 12 yards out, scoring the Seattle Seahawks touchdown. And the ball game tied at 7. Freeze over the middle, and it is through the hands of Brian Mitchell. Mitchell having a very rough first quarter.
Not only Mitchell having a rough quarter, Wooden there had the ball right in his hands also. But there's a good reason guys play linebacker and defensive backs, besides the fact that they're able to do it, and great athletes. They usually can't catch as well as a receiver or a tight end.
3rd down and 9. Norv Turner, the head coach of the Redskins. When he talked about the importance of today's game, he put it in the context that is not as important as where we are 9 or 10 games into the season. It's a rebuilding process. Freeze to throw. Has good protection over the middle, knocked down. Orlando Waters, the rookie free agent, the Razorback from Arkansas, knocked it away. Winans, the intended receiver, is 4th down.
Right now, this offense for Washington is clicking, and what fouls this play is very much just a good play at the last second to come in and knock this ball away, by Waters, and to foul up what would have been probably about a 30-40-yard gain.
All right, Reggie Roby will be kicking. Kelvin Martin is the return man. This one doesn't turn over. It's wobbly, and it is short. And the Seahawks will take over with 57 seconds left in the first quarter. We are tied at 7. Seattle and Washington.
Well, the kicking game has been a concern for the Washington Redskins. Both Roby and Lohmiller a little bit off this preseason, and they're counting on him really to rally here in the regular season for him. But you know, Roby's been a kicker for a long time. Charlie, you mentioned the hang time. The hang time can be sort of a double-edged sword when you get into a stadium like this with swirling winds, kicking the ball high. Can really knock your balls offline. It can also make them hang up a little longer than you want, and they go short.
Seattle first down, their own 37-yard line. Chris Warren, he's going to have about 3 yards on the play. Lamar Mills with the tackle. Let's go to New York for an update. Greg?
All right, Charlie, and in Indianapolis, the rookie Marshall Faulk from a yard out, the number 2 draft pick overall, gets his first NFL touchdown. 7-0 Colts leading the Oilers. Let's go back to Washington. Charlie and Randy.
You know, with that offense in Indianapolis, Marshall Faulk better get a lot of rest because they're very unsettled at quarterback. This kid's going to touch the ball about 3 out of every 4 plays.
And he is a good young running back. And speaking of good young running backs, here's Chris Warren to the 45-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and still a couple to go for the first down, as we'll take the countdown to the end of the first quarter as Andre Collins made the last tackle. So here at RFK Stadium, after the first period of play, we are tied at 7. Seattle, Washington. We start the second quarter. Seattle, Washington tied at 7. This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross. The Redskins scoring on their opening drive, a freeze to Desmond Howard, 27-yard touchdown pass. Seattle scored following a turnover. Chris Warren from 12 yards out. Seattle facing now 3rd down and 2 from their own 45-yard line. And Meyer throws it. Is pulled down by Paul Green, the number 2 tight end for the Seattle Seahawks, as they convert on 3rd down. Andre Collins making the tackle. We talked about the scoring. Let's go back in time. Here is Desmond Howard from 27 yards away. And it is just laid in a perfect pass from Freeze, and then Chris Warren turned the corner from 12 yards out for Seattle. And that ended up tying the ball game at 7. Meyer wants a screen, a middle screen. A flag is down. It is dropped by Farrell Edmonds.
That was sort of a last minute, when's he going to get out of the pack? I'm supposed to throw him the ball kind of deal for Meyer, and that's right in holding territory there.
Personal foul, chop block, number 76 in the offense, 15 yards, still first down.
That's on Bill Hitchcock, the right guard.
Offensive lineman?
Yes, well, they do
Chop blocks? No, he slipped. He must have slipped.
So with the penalty, the ball goes back to the 40-yard line of the Seahawks.
It's very unusual, though, for either one of these lines to get down into anybody's legs. They're both lines that like to get up, stay high, push, and let the defender decide where he's going to go, and let the quarterback and the running back react to that.
It is first down and 25, Seattle. Just outside their own 40. And a straight shot up the middle, Chris Warren. He has 3 yards on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 22. Tyrone Stowe making the tackle. He and Kurt Govea are going to alternate at middle linebacker. In the past 2 seasons, 5 NFL running backs have had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Rodney Hampton, and Chris Warren of the Seattle Seahawks. He is the unknown of the 5, being chased from behind. The pass is incomplete. Ken Harvey in hot pursuit of Rick Myers.
Well, you can talk about mobile quarterbacks that move real well as much as you want. I don't care which quarterback it is. They're not faster and stronger than this guy. This is a man on a mission this year. Harvey wants the recognition he could never really fully get in Arizona, and he's going to get it here in Washington if he keeps this up. He's a guy for an offensive tackle. He gives you 2 things you got to worry about a lot. The speed he's got, and when you see the guns on this guy, you know he's got the strength.
Big arms, doesn't he? Whoa. And he told us yesterday, he said, I'm known in the league, and the players know me, the coaches know me. This is an opportunity first half. We'll step aside. Tied at 7. Time remaining first half, 13 minutes, 41 seconds. Seattle at their own 44-yard line facing a 3rd and 22 in this tie ball game at 7.
And Heath Schuler has yet to enter the fray, if you will. And the way John Freese has started this game, those 15 or 20 plays that Heath knows best might be practiced in practice.
3rd down, 22. Meyer from the shotgun, pressure from the backside. He goes into the left flat to Chris Warren, and there's simply nothing there. He's going to pick up 4 or 5. They will be kicking. Darrell Green with the tackle. Let's go to New York and an update.
All right, Charlie, at Cincinnati, Vinny Testaverde on top to Leroy Horde for 11 yards and the touchdown as Horde finds the end zone. And then the first 2-point conversion of the new season. Holder Tom Tupa will run it in. 11-0. The Browns lead the Bengals second quarter. Charlie?
11-0. That's a straight score, isn't it? We'll have to get used to that kind of a score.
It's rugby, isn't it?
Right. The return man is Brian Mitchell, and he has a sliding grab at the 21-yard line. He had that disastrous fumble early in the ball game. That was recovered by Seattle and set up their only touchdown. Let's take a look. You are absolutely right. He's going to wrap both arms around it.
This is a picture of concentration. He has not taken the eyes off the ball, and it's a fine job. We talked about the winds and the way that ball swirled around and then suddenly sort of dropped like a knuckleball, and it was a great job of Mitchell catching it.
You played in here, of course, with the 49ers.
Not many pleasant memories.
How tough is this stadium to come in as a visiting team?
It's not a very hard place to play as long as you don't let the Skins do anything. If something gets going positive, it's like an avalanche. This crowd is probably the most knowledgeable in the league, and they get behind this team big.
Redskins first down from the 21-yard line. And here is Reggie Brooks. Brooks has 9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 1 as Eugene Robinson moves up and stops him.
And Brooks is a guy, if he sees a hole, he's got the ability just to move. Nice block by Brian Mitchell on Stevens in the middle, and then it's just Brooks. Brooks has got to be a bit of a nightmare. At his height, it's 5'8", about 205 pounds. He can move in 3 different directions and never slow down.
2nd down and 1. And Brooks again, this time he is turned away right at the line of scrimmage. He's been lifting weights in the offseason, and he told us yesterday that he has gotten bigger but not heavier.
All it's really done for him, it's ruined his wardrobe.
That's right.
He goes, I got to put my shirt on. I go, that's right. Where'd you take this shirt?
Yeah,
the collar shrunk.
His neck is now an 18.
Yeah.
And his suit size is now 46.
And remember, 5'8".
5'8".
205 pounds. Size 46 jacket. He's worked hard.
3rd down and 1. I think he's going to go to custom-made shirts. Good grab by Henry Eller. Eller reaches back and pulls it down. Rufus Porter then pulls him down. And it's a 1st down.
Now here's a matchup if you're North Turner and watching. You want all day long Rufus Porter as a linebacker trying to stay with Henry Ellard. You know, Henry Ellard is a receiver. It's been sort of languished in L.A. under those terrible teams the Rams have had. No one's really noticed what Ellard could do. Ellard is going to be the meat and potatoes, get the catches, get the yards. Not so much the great big play guy, but he's Mr. Consistency.
1st down for the Redskins. Ball game tied at 7. Freeze goes deep far side, and the catch is there. And again, it is Henry Ellard. It was a little low. He came back, went to his knees, and he grabbed it.
If you remember earlier on that long touchdown, Desmond Howard used that sort of stop and go and was gone. Now watch the stop, the go, and then the out. And Carlton Gray is taking the attitude, you can do all the moves you want, but right now after that one play, you're not getting behind us.
The ball just inside the 36-yard line of Seattle. 1st down. Back-to-back 1st downs to Henry Ellard. Ellard coming in motion. This one is intercepted. Terry Wooden down the sideline. He is to the 40, the 30. He is going to
flag was dropped right after Freeze was dropped, and he was dropped.
John Freeze last year with 238 attempts was intercepted only 4 times, but he came up looking right, gunned it, and Terry Wooden was simply waiting on him.
And cornerback Patrick Hunter, number 27, is the guy protesting the most, which usually tells you something.
There's no foul on the play. The block was legal. Touchdown.
It is a legal block. It is a touchdown, and the Seahawks are out in front.
Trying for a timing pattern, and Wooden goes in the perfect spot. Now watch Freeze. Want to see a quarterback get planted? Whack. The first hit by Gray was in the front. He was starting to go down. He did get a little push, but watch what happens. The first comes there.
What is that an official?
That means an in the back, because he did get pushed in the back.
69 yards on the interception return by Terry Wooden. And now Casey to add the point after. And it is right down the middle as the Seahawks move on top of the Redskins, 14-7. Back with the kickoff.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Coors Light, the silver bullet. Keep on moving. By ITT, building businesses into leaders. By Pringles, so fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. And by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
10 minutes and 7 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. John Casey will be kicking off for the Seahawks with Ricky Irvins and Brian Mitchell, the return men for the Redskins. And Mitchell takes it at the 3. And he is dropped at the 16-yard line. Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, in New Orleans, Marcus Allen having a terrific day on his 4th try from inside the 5. He scores career TD number 114, too shy of John Riggins, who's number 4 all-time. 14-0 Chiefs in the lead, Charlie.
You know, having played there a lot of times, Charlie, with Joe Montana, very important for the Chiefs to get off to a good start, because besides that one Super Bowl where they blew Denver out, Joe Montana's always struggled in that building. I mean, it's loud, it's tough, and the New Orleans defense has always been pretty rough on it.
Redskins from their own 15-yard line as Ellard goes across in motion. And the pitch to Reggie Brooks. And Brooks is going to pick up about 3 yards on the play. So we'll call it 2nd down and 7. This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross. From the Redskins standpoint, the game started the way that they wanted it to start with a long, very successful drive. But since then, they've been kind of sputtering a bit.
A little bit. It's been little execution things, which I think you have to credit the Seattle defense. The Seattle defense has played pretty well. When they've had to make some plays, they've made it.
And they were very confident when we talked to them yesterday.
Cocky. Not confident.
Pass is complete over the middle. It may be a first down to Brian Mitchell. Rod Stevens with the tackle. And here is Rusty Tillman, of course, well known when he played for the Redskins here.
Oh, he was the special team guru here for a long time. And what I love about this is the wristband system. The Seattle Seahawks worry about signals being stolen. So Rusty Tillman's got these wristbands on, and guys on defense wear wristbands, and he signals in a number. They run that defense. Very, very simple.
And Rusty, nobody's going to steal his wristband. It was a first down. Here is Mitchell. He's going to pick up a yard from the 26 to the 27. So it's going to be 2nd down and 9. Brian Mitchell, by the way, is the 2-point quarterback for the Washington Redskins. He was a quarterback at Southwest Louisiana and the first player in NCAA history to pass for 5,000 yards and rush for 3,000.
Yeah, it's not so important that they would maybe use that. What's important is every team they play has got to practice it.
Has to get prepared for that. 2nd and 9. Ellard goes across in motion. There's pressure, and
Antonio Edwards got in there right in his chest. Edwards is starting for Michael Sinclair, who's going to be dinged up for another week or two. And Rufus Porter's coming from one side, and then Edwards comes from the other, and he almost comes clean. Simmons barely really gets a breath on him, and you can't do that to your quarterback when you're trying to throw those little screens and little dink delays. You've got to take something off the defender. It's not like, here's a free ticket, go ahead and hit him, he gets paid a lot of money, which is definitely not the case in a lot of quarterbacks' cases now with the count.
Heath Schuler still on the sideline. Expected to see some action in the ball game. And coming free was Rufus Porter. Nobody picked him up. And Freeze was in danger of being drilled again.
All the execution, Charlie, that was there earlier, they look so crisp. It's just a little bit off. Right now, the blocking...
What causes that?
The blocking's not quite good enough. The execution's not quite good enough. And to be honest with you, sometimes the defenders are pretty good. I mean, they are good enough, and they're going to ruin your plans.
All right, Reggie Roby will be kicking. One thing you might notice, when he kicks, his plant foot stays on the ground. He has tremendous extension with the right leg. He plants and he kicks. Pretty good one. And Martin drops it, picks it up at the 24. He has 5 on the return down the sideline and out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 40-yard line. 7:47 time remaining. My, how time is flying. We've got a flag down. So we will step aside in a moment, but let's see what the marker is all about. Or is it just a yellow piece of paper? We had some yellow pieces of paper all fluttering about. And an official picks it up. And so we'll go back to play with the ball at the 39-yard line. Seattle first down. And Heath Schuler is loosening up on the sideline. This pass is caught by Martin. And he's going to pick up about 20 yards on the play. A defender for the Redskins gambled and lost.
And that's a defender with the speed that he has. Darrell Green does take some chances once in a while. And watch what happens. He's a little out of position, so he almost feels he has to take that chance. If he doesn't, it's going to be trouble. And Martin's another one of the receivers for the Seattle Seahawks, much like the receivers for the Redskins. Not a real burner. Not a real get down the field and make you worry a whole bunch. But being an excellent kick returner, he's extremely dangerous after he catches the ball.
All right, we have a timeout. 7 minutes and 12 seconds left to go, second quarter. Seahawks lead it 14-7. While we were away, Heath Schuler loosening. That is not a game official. But for a moment when we saw that shirt, we thought, wait a minute, what is going on the sideline?
It's opening day. Everybody's busy.
All right, Seattle at the Redskins 40-yard line, first down. Seahawks lead the ball game by 7. And here is Warren. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Tony Woods gets him. Let's go to New York for an update. Greg?
Charlie and Randy, take a look at what happened in Indianapolis. Cody Carlson back, hit by Tony McCoy. The loose football picked up by Tony Bennett, and he is off to the races. 75 yards, the longest fumble return for a touchdown in team history. Colts lead the Oilers 14-0 in the second, Charlie.
Wow. Big time surprise.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah. Second down and 12 and overthrown. Trying to hit Calvin Martin, and he misses him by about 3 yards.
That was one of those passes. Rick Meyer doesn't even have to look to the sideline for Tom Flores or anybody to say anything to him. He's going, I know. He's probably harder on himself after a pass like that than a coach probably would be.
So it will be third down and 12. When you look at the Seahawks offense, there's a missing man. I mean, every time that I've looked out there this afternoon, I miss John L. Williams. John L., now with Pittsburgh, he was a fullback for 8 years, and of course you saw him so much on third down. Great hands. John L.'s not there.
But Chris Warren smiles at the prospect of catching some passes.
Yeah, he'll be in on third down. Myers shakes loose. He's going to scramble. Flag is down. He is cut from behind by Ken Harvey. It looked for a moment as if he was going to be able to pick up the first down. A holding call also against the Seahawks. Washington figures to refuse it, as it will bring up fourth down.
Holding. Offense, number 69. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
Holding on Jeff Blackshear.
That protection looked like a 50% off sale on diamonds in the backfield for the Seattle Seahawks. It was just like,
All right, Rick Tootin will be kicking. Ryan Mitchell is the return man at the 10. He has been battling returns all afternoon. Here's a little pooch kick. And he stays away from it. And it is going to be down inside the 15-yard line. Seattle 14, Redskins 7. Back in a moment. If you're a Redskin fan, mark down the time. 5:59 left to go, second quarter. Opening ball game. Heath Schuler comes into the ball game at quarterback for the Redskins. And he came into the ball game to an ovation. And he opens up with a standard running play to Reggie Brooks, exactly what you called. You said this is what he's going to bring in with him.
oh, it's got to be. You know, remember who's calling these plays. It's Norv Turner right there with the headset onto the quarterback. He's the one that's adding the little notes. He's the one that's guiding the series for Heath Schuler, and he's also the one that knows this is his meal ticket. This is the guy for this franchise, and they're not going to subject him to some of the hits and expose him to the danger that John Freese had in the last couple of series.
Now, Heath told us that he has the whole offense. Not true. And he is set to throw. Comes back, and it is incomplete through the hand. Should have been caught by Reggie Brooks. It'll be third down and 7. What plays does he have? How many does he in reality have?
He's probably got a pretty good idea of the offense, but Norv Turner can definitely look at Heath Schuler and say, you know, I've taught you everything you know, but I have not taught you everything I know. I'd put it probably at 70, 75%. You know, that he really, that knowing it is one thing, feeling comfortable with it is another, and that's what Norv wants, the comfortable plays.
Third down and 7. Schuler on a quarterback draw, and he is wrapped up immediately by Cortez Kennedy. And as you said, when he came onto the field, that this is what a defensive linebacker or lineman is waiting for.
The first two guys I thought of were Rufus Porter and Cortez Kennedy. Just let me get a shot. Let me get my hands on this guy. Cortez Kennedy does what he wanted to do coming into this season. He wants to take offensive linemen, pick them up, and run them into the backfield, into the quarterback. A little miscommunication, a little bobbled snap or whatnot. Heath Schuler hesitated, and Tez was on.
So it is 3 and out for Heath Schuler, and Reggie Roby will be kicking. And it turns over for him. Martin fields it at the 43 to the 45, and he is decked at the 45-yard line. So we have 4:43. That is the time remaining in the first half as Lamont Hollingquest bathes the last tackle, number 96, in his second year from the University of Southern California. And Schuler 3 and out. Not a very auspicious start, but it is a start.
It's a start. It's just a, you know, you go to the sideline, you give the young guy a little bit of encouragement. You know, he wants to say, how did I do? So you got to kind of beat him to the punch. You know, nice touch, good read. You should have caught the ball. Fine handoffs, bad sack.
And back to the ballgame. Second back through is 1, and he almost breaks clean. He has 8 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 2. Daryl Morrison makes the tackle. Morrison, number 38, the free safety. Very interesting in calling the defenses, is that he calls it for everybody, and then he would forget what he was supposed to do. He said, I'd have everything all set and planned, and the coaches said, and then he wasn't sure what he was. He had everybody in the right spot, but he wasn't playing.
He had 10 guys, right?
Warren again, and it will be close to the first first down. Should have it at the 44-yard line.
The reason we emphasized the run at the beginning of the game, Charlie, was to sort of get the idea that with these young quarterbacks, the running game and a successful running game and a 1,000-yard rusher takes a lot of pressure off them. That's why I made the point about Reggie Brooks carrying the first time Heath Schuler got the ball. Nothing could make Heath Schuler healthier or happier than to have a good running game and conservative passing as a youngster.
It is first down. Steve Smith is in the line of a fullback. He goes deep to Martin, overthrows it. Martin had a step on the secondary, and Rick Meyer overthrew him by a step. And so it's just a long incompletion. It'll be second down and 10. Back at the 44-yard line of the Redskins.
That was a little bit of a back at you by Seattle, though, with that little pump fake and the kind of the hesitation. Not quite a stop and go by Martin, but it's something that the defense now has to know that Tom Flores and the Seahawks are willing to do. They're willing to get that ball deep.
Tom Carter had the coverage. He will celebrate his 22nd birthday tomorrow. In his second year. He was the #1 draft choice a year ago out of Notre Dame. And here's Chris Warren. Warren to the 38-yard line, so he's going to pick up 6 along the way. It'll be third down and 4, and that man again, Ken Harvey, was there for the Redskins. And we're moving on the 3-minute mark, time remaining in the first half, with the Seahawks up 14-7 over the Redskins.
You talked about looking at the play and missing somebody. What I miss from seeing these two teams right now is a tight end. Seattle's expecting a lot of Ethan Horton, but we've seen little production so far.
Third down and 4. And it is incomplete. Ryan Blades, the intended receiver. Alvoid Mays had the coverage for the Redskins. It'll be fourth down.
That thing about the tight ends, Charlie, it's just so important to take pressure. You talk about the Washington offense. This is an offense Norv Turner's brought here to Washington that thrived having a Jay Novacek, or an Alfredo Roberts, be able to dump the ball to them. They don't have that body in Washington. Seattle thinks they've got the body in Ethan Horton, but they haven't had a chance to test it.
Brian Mitchell is the return man with a pooch kick. And he signals for a fair catch and then gets out of there. Be down around the 15-yard line. So again, the Redskins will have terrible field position in 2 weeks. Sequest will return to NBC with a spectacular 2-hour season premiere. It's a whole new Sequest with new cast members, new locations, wondrous discoveries. It all returns 2 weeks from tonight right here on NBC. And returning now for the Washington Redskins at quarterback is Heath Schuler. In his second series, he'll start for the 15.
The hardest part for Heath here is now that the butterflies have to have sort of started dying down, is learning to read the defenses as it relates to the patterns his receivers will be running.
And he comes scrambling out of there, and he is wrapped up at the 10-yard line. There's all kinds of miscues going on.
He got hit harder by his own lineman than the running back. Little Cortez Kennedy caused a little disruption.
Boy, did he ever.
That was Jim Lachey, by the way. That wasn't just some little lightweight that Cortez Kennedy bashed into the quarterback.
Lachey, 6'6", 294 pounds. Tez Nail, a loss of 4.
I love that. Now, don't I open up the left? No. You're supposed to turn to your right where the linemen aren't.
We have a timeout. Clock is stopped with 2:33. That is the time remaining in the first half. And it's going to be second down and 14.
Yeah, sometimes for a rookie quarterback, especially real early in their career, getting into a game can very much be sort of be careful of what you always wanted. You might get it.
What about the speed of the game, of this game versus preseason? Is the pace stepped up for him?
I think it's the intensity. And as much as he can say, gee, in the SEC, we've got receivers and defensive backs that run 4.4, so the speed's not that different. It's extremely intense, and the guys do move quickly.
And it is dropped. Right in the hands of Brian Mitchell, who is having a terrible afternoon. he's a better ball player than that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this imitation of Roberto Duran's hands of stones is not what you usually see out of Mitchell.
No. So it's going to be 3rd down and 14.
Now here, if you're Norv Turner, you're going to either run a little dump screen pass to a running back, or you're going to do something very quick to a receiver and let them try to get the 1st down. You're not going to want to go back and let defenders take shots at Heath Schuler.
Ricky Irvins has checked into that offensive set. And here comes the blitz. It's picked up, has pressure, and he goes to the far side to Henry Eller. That is incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 14. So Heath Schuler has been in for 2 series. It's been 3 and out each time.
Hey, he's got to, you know, he's right now thinking, this isn't Vanderbilt. Maybe it is a little different here.
But remember what Rick Meyer told us yesterday, relating back to his situation, what Schuler is going through. He said, I had a chance to get a lot of ugly ball games out of the way.
Exactly. And like we talked about earlier, you know, don't expect too much of yourself.
Yes.
That was the key Meyer said to Schuler.
And Reggie Roby will be kicking from the end zone. And here is Kelvin Martin. He'll take it at the 37-yard line to the 45. And he is ridden up and dropped at the 47-yard line. So he has 10 yards on the return. Kurt Gouveia was there for the Redskins. 0 for 3. And the coaching continues from Norv Turner.
And we'll continue. And we'll continue.
And we'll continue.
It will go on.
Yeah.
And you know, he's 0 for 3. He's had a couple of plays drop. The one thing you have to see in a young quarterback, and you'll notice in Rick Meyer, the offense seems to kind of settle around him. It looks smooth. Schuler so far, nothing settled around him, and nothing so far looks smooth.
1st down, 47-yard line from the shotgun. Just over 2 minutes left to go 1st down. Out, throws back underneath the coverage, and he finds Paul Green for the 2nd time in the ballgame, his number 2 tight end. I think we saw just from that movement the difference in the rookie year and the 2nd year.
Yeah.
Moving with confidence, picks him up, makes the throw, has the completion. 2-minute warning. We're out of here. Be sure to stay with us at halftime for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report with Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, and Joe Gibbs. And they'll be bringing all the scores and highlights from around the league, plus a look at the receivers of the Los Angeles Raiders. That's all coming up at halftime. And speaking of the Raiders, we will be there next Sunday in the Coliseum. The Raiders hosting the Seattle Seahawks.
First thing you think of when you think of the Raider receivers is speed, and it's just like a blur. And right now, Heath Schuler, as you just saw, everything's kind of a blur to Heath right now, too.
All right, here's a look at Rick Meyer from the shotgun. He stands in, goes deep, overthrows everybody. Ken Harvey was putting the pressure. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And that was Daryl Morrison with the deep coverage.
You ever speed on the freeway? You know, sometimes they get you, sometimes they don't. Watch Roberts, 73, top of the screen against Harvey. Yank! You know, and that's the same kind of guy that's going to turn around when they throw that flag and go, who, me? What'd I do?
What'd I do?
What'd I do?
He got away with one, didn't he?
Harvey makes you make those kind of plays.
3rd down and 7. He also got an arm full of Meyer right after he released it, too. And it is broken up. Flag back at the 45.
It's going to be a late shot, I think, on the quarterback.
Tom Carter, a good defensive play for the Redskins. Now, there's a new rule. Now, this year, you have the 1-step. The defender has the 1-step on the rush to hit the quarterback, but it comes from the moment that the ball is released. As soon as the ball is released, he has 1 step and 1 step only, and then has to stay out of his head or out of his face.
Hey, you make a good point, Charlie. It used to be the entire throwing motion had to be finished. There was unnecessary roughness against Washington.
Roughing the passer.
He was roughing the passer.
Leonard Marshall right at the end. Just comes in late. Ball's gone. Well, I think it's the referee watching out for a young quarterback's knee.
Now, you may be right. Now, here's Chris Warren, and there's nothing there. Now, I didn't see that much for a roughing the passer call unless what the officials are doing. And this may be something that they're doing over the entire line. It's going to be third down and short, maybe 3 or 4 yards for the first down. Andre Collins with the tackle. Clock moving, 1:11 and counting. Time remaining first half. The ball at the 27-yard line. From the shotgun, good protection. Pass is complete downfield to Martin. And he is going to be dropped around the 17-yard line. So they'll pick up 10 on the play. Carter with the tackle, and here come the Seahawks again very quickly. And Myers going to spike it to stop the clock. 45 seconds left.
You mentioned the thing about the rules, and that was a nice job by Tom Carter of not allowing the receiver to get out of bounds, making him waste a play like that. But the offensive rules, you got to really take your hat off to the NFL. I think they've done a wonderful job, and they've shown the ability or the willingness to change their game a little bit and react to criticism. Offense, not enough offense. Things were boring last year. People went crazy. They've changed the kickoffs. They've changed the tees. They've changed the defensive, the way defenders can defend people. They've opened the game up offensively.
Everybody loves it except defensive coordinators.
And cornerback.
And cornerback, you're right. Second down. Meyer goes in the corner. It is incomplete.
Wow. Another gamble by Darrell Green. You talk about a veteran of that many years that still has all that speed, and he's got that savvy. He gets in positions that he can make those plays, and he hopes the other guy can't. Watch him dart right at the end. I mean, he is in position. He's trying to get the ball, but Martin is behind him for the touchdown if the ball's there. Watch.
Well, that's catchable. That was a pretty good throw.
Yeah.
Ball at the 16, third down and 9, third down and 10. Flags everywhere. Yeah, it's interesting. It should be third down and 10 because of the ball was spiked, but the scoreboard carries it third and 9. Just wanted to point that out. I don't know why I wanted to point it out.
Offense number 3.
Because you can.
5 yards.
Had nothing to do at the time.
Well, that was the case there with Donaldson, the center. The snap was on 2, and he decided to go on 3. He hesitated a little while.
Does that happen to centers very
That happens all the time. It's usually the quarterback's fault, though.
Spoken like a true offensive team. Third down and 14. Inside the 5 on a comeback. Once he got inside the 5, Martin coming back for a yard or 2. A first down and a spike to stop the clock with 16 seconds.
You know, just from a momentum standpoint, a confidence standpoint, a touchdown at the end of the half here is really going to be a huge letdown for these Redskins. Started well, a couple things went bad, but it's been sort of downhill the second half of the second quarter. And Norv Turner's got his hands full going into the locker room trying to encourage or get the positive side of this thing and spin it that way. And Tom Flores, for the Seahawks, he says, my team's a veteran team and it's playing like a veteran team.
It'll be second down and goal to go. 16 seconds left in the first half. Throws into the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Brian Blade.
You need no further illustration of how far Rick Mirer has come from last year as a rookie quarterback to this year than just that one play. That ability to sit back there, the composure to sit still, take that couple of shuffle steps until his receiver came open.
Actually, you can add on to that drive, that entire drive, the 2-minute drill.
You're absolutely right.
And he picked everything up, and he was doing it with such confidence you could feel it from up here. Here is the extra point attempt, and it is pulled and hits the upright, and it ricochets through. It has to be a Seahawk afternoon when that happens. And Seattle moves on top 21-7 as John Casey puts the excitement back into the extra point.
That's one time a kicker can actually smile. The real positive thing of that, though, was not so much a kick this play. Watch Myers sit back there. Watch the poise. Little shuffle. There's my guy. and there's really nothing Morrison could do. Morrison's right behind him, but by the time Blades gets in Myers' vision, he can't go through the receiver for the ball.
And with the extra point, the Seahawks lead 21-7 with 11 seconds left to go in the first half.
Well, probably one of the major problems I had with Rick Meyer coming into the league last year was all the comparisons to Joe Montana. Coming from Notre Dame, it's natural. They wore the same numbers. So, is he the next? No, he's not. There's only one of those. But this kid has the ability to be one of those extremely special quarterbacks.
He's the next Rick Meyer.
There's exactly.
All right, Casey kicks out. Ricky Irvins picks it up at the 6. He's to the 15, the 20. And he returns down near the 28-yard line. So 5 seconds left in the first half, and number 5, Heath Schuler, will try it one more time. And you have the feeling here he's just going to kneel down.
Yeah, he's going to get either practice handing the ball to his halfback or taking a knee.
Yep.
And it's going to be taking a knee.
He'll be taking the knee. Yeah. So Heath Schuler with a total of 7 offensive plays in the first half, as he'll take the official countdown to halftime. It is halftime at RFK Stadium. Seahawks lead at 21-7. The Domino Pizza NFL Live halftime report is next after these messages from the NFL and your local station. It is halftime here at RFK Stadium in our nation's capital. The ball game started well for the Redskins. They opened with an 82-yard touchdown drive. The touchdown pass from Freeze to Howard from 27 yards. But since then, it has been all Seattle. Chris Warren scoring from 12 yards out. Terry Wooden with a 69-yard interception return for the score. And that last 53-yard touchdown drive with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Blade. 21-7 at halftime. And now for more, let's go to New York City.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back to our NFL Live studios here in New York. Greg Gumbel along with Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs. The game that you are watching now, Washington and who's Washington playing this? We'll talk about that game in a second. First, let's go with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. And this game has been the Chiefs from the get-go. Marty Schottenheimer looking for career win number 100 on the Chiefs' first possession. Schottenheimer goes for it on 4th and 1 from the 40-yard line, and Marcus Allen goes for 13 yards to the 27. Allen, 45 yards rushing on this drive alone in a terrific first half. And then Montana, 11 yards to Willie Davis and the touchdown. That's a 15-play, 80-yard drive. The Chiefs were on top. Kansas City scored again on the next possession. Allen's 1-yard run will cap a 59-yard drive. 14-0 Chiefs at this point, and they just rolled from there. It has been a terrific, terrific ball game for two veterans, Joe Montana and Marcus Allen.
Well, age doesn't seem to hurt these guys. They seem to get better with age, and I tell you right now, Montana looks as good as he's ever looked. He's got time to throw the ball. He's got a running game, and his defense is helping him.
It's not the dream season so far for Jim Everett. Is he going to make a big difference in New Orleans, Joe?
Well, I think it's tough. Start new quarterback, all the changes they made. Mora has a formula. They've gone away from it now. They're going to have to get back into a scheme where they can find their formula again.
All right. Meanwhile, at Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, that is now a halftime score, and the Giants lead at 21-10. Dave Meggett, a 68-yard punt return for New York. At Indianapolis, the Colts and the Oilers, and take a look at the numbers that the Colts are putting up. That's more points than they scored in any game all of last season. Colts rookie Marshall Faulk put into immediate action by Ted Marchibroda, and he delivered on their second possession. Faulk, 20 yards downfield to the Oilers' 22-yard line. And then 4 plays later, Faulk with his first career touchdown from 2 yards out. You get the feeling there are many more to come in Indianapolis before his career is through. 7-0 Indianapolis. Colts get a big lift defensively. Cody Carlson, hit by Tony McCoy, causes the fumble. Tony Bennett, the defensive player's dream, 75 yards. That's a team record. And then Marshall Faulk, before the half ended, 2-yard touchdown, 16 carries, 60 yards. The Colts taking advantage of the Houston turnovers. The Oilers led the NFL in turnovers last year. They're doing it again today. The Colts are taking advantage 35-0 as they approach halftime. At Lambeau Field in Green Bay, the Packers leading the Minnesota Vikings 13-0 at halftime. Sterling Sharp returned to the team late last night. He has 45 yards receiving, 6 receptions on the day, and 1 touchdown. At RFK Stadium in Washington, the game that you are watching, Seattle Seahawks leading the Redskins by a score of 21-7. You and Ahmad talked prior to the start of the game today on NFL Live about whether or not you should start a rookie quarterback or not. Do you still think that was the right call by Norv?
So far, either one of them. I think it's a tough opening shot there for Norv. He's got a young team, a lot of changes, and both quarterbacks having a tough time in the first half.
All right, Joe. Then the Silver Dome, the Falcons and the Lions are doing battle, and at halftime, it's a 7-7 tie. Eric Pegram, a 1-yard run for Atlanta, and a 1-yard Derek Moore touchdown for Detroit. The Browns and the Bengals are at halftime, and Cincinnati is trailing the Cleveland Browns by a score of 25-10. Mike, we saw on NFL Live, Will McDonough's report that the Bengals are way under the salary cap, and it's showing they're not really putting any talent out on the field, at least not yet.
It doesn't look like it right now, and if they're $6 million under the salary cap, they ought to spend some of that money. They got beat on 2 kick returns for touchdowns today, and that really hurt. That demoralizes a football team to get beat in that area. They've got to have better people on the field than they're putting on the field right now.
All right, Mike, and one other game that's on the scoreboard right now at Soldier Field in Chicago, the Bears in the third quarter are leading the Tampa Bay Bucks by a score of 14-3. We'll take a timeout here, and then when NFL Live continues, we'll introduce you to that terrific receiving core of the Los Angeles Raiders after this word from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back to the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Tomorrow night's game in San Francisco should be a good one between the 49ers and the Raiders. The Raiders feature a dazzling group of speedsters at the wide receiver position. Earlier this week, I had a chance to visit with all of them.
And being around football, through my life, you think you see people fast, and you hear people talk about speed, but when you see these kids run, and all of a sudden you think they're running, and then you see it go like that again, it's something. It's amazing. It really is. I mean, it makes you become awestruck.
We were watching film today and watching Jet and Rocket run by people, and you just shake your head. You really just shake your head in disbelief because, I mean, you see people, run by people all the time in the NFL, but the way these guys go by people, it's almost comical at times.
Question.
Who's the fastest guy in the group?
James.
No.
Don't listen to this man.
Definitely not. No, this guy.
James Jet is on another level.
I would say Jet probably is the fastest. Running 100 meters. But as for quickness, Rocket has the quickness, Timmy has the quickness getting off the ball. Myself, I'm just going to type of guy just to get open.
Question.
Who has the best hands?
Probably Tim Brown, I guess.
I'd say Tim.
Tim has great hands.
Well, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but
go ahead.
But I think just because of the experience of learning how to catch the ball over the years, that I probably have the best hands right now in the group.
In recent years, the Raiders' vertical passing game has not fooled Mother Nature. But in 1994, the weather and the schedule will be kind to the Silver and Black attack. Have you guys taken a good look at the schedule? There is not one cold weather regular season game on the schedule.
We noticed that a long time back.
When it first came out.
I was like in the spring, we came in for mini camp. I was like, man, we don't have any cold games. This is so on.
Playing conditions will favor the Raiders' speed, but in keeping with tradition, the edge they find most significant is the psychological advantage.
They know that we have a lot of speed on the team. They know we can get open. They know we can go by them. That thought is in their mind. They know that we are capable of flying by them at any given time. And they will have to respect that speed.
You can tell when you actually go out there and line up, and the defense are pretty much in the back pedal already. You know,
that
think about you going
perception
deep.
of having the threat of going deep coming into games, everybody, that's on their mind, you know. And every once in a while, when somebody challenges you and they come up and roll up on us, if we give a free release, we're gone, man.
Quite a group of guys. Joe, you had the vaunted posse in Washington. How do these guys compare?
Well, the posse distinguished themselves by being extremely tough and extremely smart. They would go across the middle. We even used them to block on pass protection. I don't think you'll find these guys doing that, but let me say this. These guys have tremendous speed, and the new rules, Greg, are really going to help these guys.
Yeah, Mike, you can't double team these guys. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but I don't think you can win strictly with speed. I don't think your receivers going deep are what you're looking for. They have to balance it with a good running game. They have to do other things too. But they do have that one dimension. It's going to cause some fear, that's for sure.
All right, gentlemen, we'll take a time out here. Stick with us. Our NFL Live halftime activities continue.
Welcome back to RFK Stadium as Chip Lohmiller kicks off the second half. And it is taken at the 10-yard line by Michael Bates to the 25, the 30. And he is going to be dropped at the 33-yard line. Now let's take a look at the Coors Light halftime stats. And a comparison.
Very, very kind of deceiving, I think, if you look at it. Rushing yards, Seahawks got a little bit of an edge, but you've got a veteran team with a young quarterback playing like a veteran that's been very composed and taking advantage of mistakes of the Redskins, who started well and just have sort of frayed since then.
I'm surprised, though, that we don't have more rushing yardage. I thought they would go from both running backs.
Exactly.
All right, Seattle starts from their own 33-yard line, leading 21-7. Meyer comes out there, almost intercepted. Just got away from Darrell Green. When we talked with Darrell Green yesterday, we asked him about his learning center that he has here in Washington, D.C., and his eyes just lit up. They have a tremendous program that he has and for the youngsters in the area, and it is school, it is teaching, it is reading, it is writing, it is all of the neat things. He is so proud of that program, and he should be.
He should be. 45 kids. He says we've changed the surrounding community with enough kids we could change everyone.
It's a good start. 2nd and 10. We have flags before the play gets off. Dale Hamer, the referee today. You know, not that many penalties for the first ball game of the season.
Especially procedure.
Mm-hmm.
You expect more of the enthusiasm to kick in and guys get a little overexcited and start jumping.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's the call.
We have a neutral zone infraction on the defense, 5 yards, still second down.
That is a new rule.
That's another one of the new ones we talked about earlier, and that's used to be the defender could sort of make that move, get back, and if the offensive guy moved, the penalty was on the offense, and they warned the defender that next time it will be on you. Now it's just flat out, it's on the defender.
So with the penalty, the ball goes to the 38-yard line. It's 2nd down and 5. Warren is wrapped up by Andre Collins. Collins was just sitting there waiting on it. Nobody picked him up.
Well, right now the Redskins defense is up to about 8 or 9 guys on the line of scrimmage. They're playing the run. They're expecting that the Seahawks want to come out and try to power them, eat up the clock, and start putting some distance time-wise between they and the Redskins.
3rd down and 6. Seahawks lead it 21-7. Opening drive, second half, here at RFK Stadium. 3rd and 6. Double slot on the right side. This will be close to the first down. Brian Blades pulls it down. At first look, it seems as if he's going to be a yard or maybe just a half yard shy of the first down. So it'll be 4th down and short. That's what it looks like, but to make it official, the officials asked for the chains to come out.
And I'll say it again, Rick Meyer's ability to move and see his offense just seems, like Tom Flores said, light years from last year. He just knows where his guys are, and he knows what a good throw and a bad throw is. Sometimes a good throw is one you don't make, when you throw in the ground, when you throw over the sidelines.
As you can see, about a half a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down, and Rick Tootin will come in to punt. Also, I think the fact that Rick Mirer spent most of the offseason in Seattle, spent a lot of time looking at film, looking at tape, looking at what he was doing right, looking at what he was doing wrong. I think it all begins to pay off. He didn't throw that much, actually, physically, during the offseason, but he worked on reading of what the defense was doing and what he should do and how he should react, and that is so important.
It really is. Pretty funny talking to him, too, when he talks about watching tapes and covering his eyes on some plays. Did I do that?
All right, it is 4th down. Brian Mitchell is the return man. If he missed the first half, he had a very spotty first half. He picks up this one at the 18, hit at the 20 and drop. But he does hang on to it. He had a costly fumble in the first half. We have a timeout. We'll step aside. Back in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. By Domino's Pizza. When it's got to be good and it's got to be now, it's got to be Domino's. By Bic pens, shavers, and lighters. Bic, worth every penny. And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste.
John Freeze is going to start the second half for the Redskins. He completed 9 of 15 in the first half. And he goes deep to the far side. It is caught and out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Very close to the first down is Henry Eller.
And he immediately does something that the rookie Schuler could not do in his couple of series, and that's complete a pass to a wide receiver and get one out there. A little zip on the ball. A little more would have been nice. The ball would have gotten there sooner, but good follow through by John Freeze and an opportunity to get something positive going. Norv Turner and the Skins need some positive movement of the ball.
It'll be 2nd down and 1. And he hands off to the first back. This should pick up the first down. That's Brian Mitchell as he goes to the 32-yard line. You notice on the numbers on John Freeze that he had the 1 touchdown pass, and that is to Desmond Howard 27 yards out. That was on the opening drive, and he had 1 interception. Well, that 1 interception was by Terry Wooden of the Seahawks, who rambled 69 yards, and he scored a touchdown. First down, 32-yard line. Eller to the slot on the right side. Now he goes back in motion. Looking left, comes back over the middle, and is juggled incomplete. He was looking at Ellard all the way. No question about it. And that could be dangerous, because if we can pick it up, then surely the defenders can pick it up.
Oh, especially when you've got a free safety back there in Eugene Robinson, who makes quite a good living out of watching quarterbacks, watching the eyes, and where exactly. Look at the eyes. Look at the head just scan. And it's not a huge thing, and I think sometimes we in this business make too big a deal out of it, but free safeties notice that.
2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. It's picked up. He goes deep, and it is incomplete. Eugene Robinson had the interception. It was in his hands, and he couldn't hold on. It'll be 3rd down, Washington.
And this is one of those plays you don't want to see if you're an offensive player, is when the receiver starts turning around and looking back for the ball and see where it lands and if it's intercepted.
This week in practice, John Freeze took about 65% of the reps. That is the snaps. And he's Schuler about 35%, more than a backup normally takes. This one pays off. 3rd down and 10. He's going to pick up 11 yards and the first down as he goes to Henry Eller. Orlando Waters, the nickelback for the Seahawks, makes the tackle.
And that leaves Henry Ellard 1 catch short of that 600 number. I mean, it's pretty amazing for a guy. He's been to Pro Bowls. He's been fairly well recognized, but he's been buried in Los Angeles. He's going to do wonders for Norv Turner.
It's a first down. Freeze to throw again. Goes deep over the middle. And he has Ethan Horton, the tight end, the man you were asking about in the first half. Where has he been? Well, we found it. He was at about the 40-yard line.
That's the missing ingredient. We've watched little flips to the running backs, and we've watched the short stuff and the medium stuff to the receivers. And obviously, the defense for the Seahawks has watched the same things because they seem to be kind of lulled to sleep as Horton hit it downfield.
And a gain of 18 yards on the play. The Redskins now have a first down at the 38-yard line of Seattle. This is their opening drive of the second half. They scored on their opening drive of the first half. Freeze goes deep, double coverage, and it may be intercepted. Let's see whether or not it came down inbounds. Yes, it is an interception. Carlton Gray from UCLA picked off the pass, and he is still down. He may just be winded. Sometimes what happens when you fall, you end up falling on the football.
Now watch what happens with Henry Millard right at the end. He's going to break to the outside. Now it's a free-for-all. Now one of three guys has a chance to get that ball. Everybody lands in a jumble, just in a pile. That's easily a legal reception or interception.
Well,
now watch why that ball was hanging in the air. Right at the end, he's about to step up, and once again, Antonio Edwards puts pressure on Freeze and causes the ball to float.
The report on Carlton Gray just got the wind knocked out of him. He's going to be a good corner.
He really is. I mean, he's a guy who's got the ability, as you showed, to stick with the receiver and then the athletic ability to go after the ball.
And here's Chris Warren off the right side from the 13-yard line out to the 20. So add 7 yards to his total. It'll be second down and 3. And Ken Harvey makes the tackle. Harvey is really playing well. He is everywhere.
He's going to need to be everywhere for this defense this year for the Skins. They need him to make big plays. He's made plays in this preseason and also today on the other side of the field, away from the ball.
Second down and 3. Side as Chris Warren gets the call. And Harvey again is there. And now we'll check out that flag. And it'll be a procedure call against the Seahawks. One of the things visually that you will notice different in the rules is that the guards and the tackles are not exactly on the line of scrimmage. When your team has the ball, they kind of pull back.
On the offense, no end on the line of scrimmage, 5 yards, still second down.
Well, heck, Charlie, on third down, they're sort of like not even close. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
They look like they ought to be wearing 80s numbers and going out for passes.
You're right. With the penalty, it'll be second down and 9. The ball back at the 15-yard line. We're moving on the 10-minute mark. Time remaining. We're in the third quarter of RFK Stadium. Meyer looks deep and fires it back underneath the coverage to Brian Blades. And Darrell Green makes the tackle.
Darrell Green's made a play or two. He's gambled a time or two and won. And here it's just a straight matchup with he and Blades. And look where Meyer puts the ball. If you look at the body position of the defensive back and the wide receiver, there's no way for that defensive back to get near the ball with that ball low and left.
Remember, it was second and 9. Well, they picked up 10. They have the first down. We have some jumping before the snap. Brian Blades did not play at all in preseason.
False start on the offense, number 73, 5 yards, still
That's
first
on the
down.
left tackle, Ray Roberts. So the Seahawks sputtering just a bit offensively here. It'll be first down and 15 as the ball moves back to the 20-yard line. Seattle leading by 14. They play at the Raiders next week. The Redskins at New Orleans. Over the middle, it is Chris Warren. Warren breaks clean. He's to the 40, across the 45, near the 50-yard line. They're going to mark it about the 48-yard line, and it was Martin Bailiff who saves the touchdown.
See an example of a play could have gone big one way and went big the other. Watch Leonard Marshall, number 70, right there. Runs right by the ball as it's flipped to Warren. And this is that upright style. This is that cutting and that speed we talked about with Chris Warren. He's very upright, but he doesn't take the shots.
And a gain of 29 yards on the play. First down. Just shy of the 49-yard line. And here is John Vaughn.
That last play by Warren reminds you, too, Charlie, you mentioned during the first half about John L. Williams and his role as that pass-catching running back and how excited Chris Warren was that he's going to get a chance to do it. And that was a great example.
Yards rushing, 42 yards receiving, as he totals over the century mark with still a quarter and a half remaining. Fire goes deep and just over the outstretched hand of Chris Warren. Darrell Morrison had excellent coverage on it. It'll be third down and 4 yards to go.
You can tell the Seattle Seahawks are getting a lot more confident. They seem to be, they're taking shots, they're taking chances, they're running things that they weren't running in the first half. Seems a little bit, they seem to be a little more conservative. Now they're opening things up a little bit and taking some opportunities.
Third down and 4. Pass is incomplete. Meyer was looking outside. He threw back underneath to Paul Green, and I'm not sure that Green was looking for it.
I don't think so. He keeps pointing to himself like it's me. You got rid of that ball at the right time because Harvey was coming after you.
And Harvey did a very nice move, too, and that is when he hit him, he just kind of fell off to the side. That's one of the things with changing the rules. That's what they want the defender to do. They don't want him beating up on the quarterback. And Tootin to call. Since his early fumble. We've got a timeout. Seahawks lead at 21-7. Tom Flores, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, also the general manager. His professional career started at Kezar Stadium as a quarterback with the Raiders on July the 31st, 1960. And then, of course, evolved. He was the head coach for the Raiders and now the head coach for the Seattle Seahawks. 99 victory. One more, of course, and he is the magic 100. Could get it today. Looks good for him right now.
And why would you know that date of his first game, Charlie?
Because I broadcast it. We go back a long way together. It was a cold night at Kezar. All right, here's Reggie Brooks.
Coming into
the Redskins.
Charlie, coming into this game, we really expected to see a lot of running out of the Washington Redskins, and you gotta give the credit to the Seattle Seahawks front. Because Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins, I think Norv Turner and most of this organization thought this offensive line back and healthy would move the defensive line of Seattle out. So far, the Seattle defensive line is completely stuffed.
Second down and 9. John Freeze, the quarterback. And here is Brooks. They string him out. And he's going to get a yard. That is it to the 10-yard line. It'll be third down and 8. Blackman with the stop. Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, in New Orleans, the Saints jump back into the game against the Chiefs. The opening drive of the second half, Jim Everett, 13 yards to Wesley Wells. His first touchdown pass as a Saint, 17-10. Kansas City's lead is down to 7, Charlie.
Now to tie back into what you said earlier, Montana has not played that well in New Orleans.
It's a difficult place. I mean, Joe's, busted bursa sacks in his elbow, been beaten up, and you get to the point where you think places affect your play.
All right, Freeze to throw on third down and 8. He goes deep, almost pulled down. Good defensive play by Carlton Gray. Desmond Howard, the intended receiver. We haven't seen a lot of him since he caught that touchdown pass with just over 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. But here, Gray goes up and knocks it out of his hands. Good play.
So far, you're looking at teams right now that Washington's got a sense of almost desperation of wanting to make something happen and wanting to make plays, and Seattle's just playing. Seattle's just doing what they do well.
Reggie Roby will be kicking. Kelvin Martin is the return man. Oh, good kick. Taken at the 39-yard line, back to the 50. And 5 yards into Redskin territory before he is thrown down, and that instigates a pushing and shoving contest. Immediately broken up.
You know, Charlie, we talk about the 75th year, and this is the big kickoff weekend, and you mentioned 35 years ago, broadcasting that game with Tom Flores. We're on our NFL 35th anniversary of Charlie Jones doing the NFL tour here for us in 1994 with lapel pins and the whole thing. Charlie likes to hand out pins himself from his baseball days with the Rockies, and we're going to get lapel pins and all. We're going to make a tour of this.
I like that.
You like that? Now we're going to stop at a bus stop.
What about a motor scooter? You and I on twin motor scooters.
You're on the West Coast. You need those jets. You got to be able to get there.
And it seems like only yesterday. It doesn't seem that long ago. All right, Seattle starts with a 45 of Washington, and Chris Warren just works his way through for 12 yards. And now the Seahawks, as you mentioned, they were very aggressive and controlling everything on defense. They're doing the same thing on offense.
One of the best compliments you can pay a running back is, you know, when he's running, it really doesn't look that hard, and he doesn't look like he's working that hard. And Warren's one of those guys. He just doesn't seem to be grinding and running. It looks so natural.
74 yards rushing, 17 carries, 5.5 minutes left in the third. And here's Warren on the right side. Add 3 more to the total as he goes to the 29-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 7. Bobby Wilson makes the tackle. Sterling Palmer is out with a pulled stomach muscle, and we understand that Kurt Govea has a cut above his eye that they were going to sew up, and he would be back into the lineup defensively.
Do football teams have cut men in their corner?
Yes, sir. They do. And of course, as always, a sellout here at RFK Stadium. This is number 206 in a row. And here is Warren. And again, he slides through, almost breaks it all the way as he goes to the 18-yard line. It looks as if he just did a glide pattern.
That's exactly what I meant. It just does not look like he's straining. Look at the patience. Go. There's the hole. Gone. Gets up in that hole, and at his size, you tend to underestimate how fast he's moving. Yeah, we made the point about Washington's offensive line not quite doing the job right now against Seattle's front, who's definitely getting the best of them. This 315-pound average offensive line for Seattle right now is really starting to lean on the Skins.
First down to the 17, fake of a pitch out, comes back, and he hits Blades in the right flat. He's got the first down, 4-yard line, gain of 13, first down, goal to go. Darrell Green saves the touchdown. And this has been a perfect drive that the Seahawks have put together.
It really has.
A little of this, a little of that, you know.
And Charlie, a little of something that we have to appreciate. In the first half, things weren't going quite right for the Washington Redskins. When they tried this ball gets tipped. Tony Woods doesn't jump quite soon enough. Blades does make the catch. They don't quite get him soon enough. He gets down to the 4-yard line.
First down, goal to go. And here is Warren off the right side and just posts into the end zone. Chris Warren.
And you know why it looks so easy, Norm? Because it is. The guy's running smooth, and they are blocking.
The offensive line is taking control of the offense, and the Seahawks defensive line is taking control of the offense of the Redskins.
Very much so. It's just a group as a group. Those two lines, just in this second half, have just taken their skins by the throat.
And here is Casey with the point after. And it is good. And the Seahawks now lead 28-7 as once again Chris Warren scores from 4 yards away. Welcome back to RFK Stadium. This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross. We have 3:46. That is the time remaining in the third quarter. And the Seattle Seahawks comfortably in front of the Redskins by a score of 28-7.
And Charlie, if this was a boxing match, you'd say that the body blows are beginning to tell.
Yes.
The hands are coming down.
John Casey kicking out with Mitchell and Irvin's deep. And here is Mitchell at the 9. He's to the 15, the 20, the 25. And that's a pretty good return. He's been struggling today. He gives us a good return here. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown.
Well, I use the term putting bodies on bodies. I won't point out individuals, but watch these bodies get all over these bodies. It's amazing the synchronization, the smooth speed of Warren, and just the wonderful blocking that goes on the right side of that Seattle offense. I mean, that's why it looks easy.
And with that offensive line, as you look at Warren and his totals on the drive, 5 plays, 45 yards, as he scored from 4 yards out. And here is Freeze to throw. Has good protection, pumps a couple of times, and then Reggie Brooks doesn't hang on to it. Now, the Redskins have dropped, I'm going to guess, somewhere like a half a dozen catchable passes in the ballgame.
Yeah, they really have. They're in a situation right now where just offensively, Norv Turner and the coaches for the Washington Redskins start to get a little bit desperate because they know what they think they can do well, and it's conflicting right now with what these guys are able to execute. Part of that is poor execution by the players for the Redskins. I think the majority of it is good execution by Seattle's defense.
Second down and 10. Freeze to throw. Drops this one underneath the cover. And this one is complete to Frank Wycheck. Crash Wycheck, his first appearance on offense that we've picked out.
As a ball player in transition, was here the years of all the H-backs and everything else, and was an H-back, and now is being converted into a fullback.
So it's going to be third down and a yard. And I'm going back to what you did on the telestrator with the Seahawk bodies moving the Redskin bodies, and one of the things that the Redskins talked about of the offensive line of the Seahawks, but right now is third down and 1. Play action fake deep over the middle and overthrow. And it'll be fourth down, and the Redskins will kick it away. And that is that the defensive coaches for the Redskins were talking about the footwork of the offensive line. Now, how important is the footwork of the offensive line?
It's very important. It's coordination, it's working as a group, and it's usually the first thing to suffer when you're talking about being stuffed this way as a defensive line is. We got fourth down here, and the Skins are going, I see nothing wrong with this.
Trailing 28-7, fourth down and 1, 2:42 left to go. And the period is going to be close. He should get the mark, close to the 40-yard line. And it was Reggie Brooks. And they do have the first down, just barely.
I like that decision. This is a team that needs a positive, needs an up, and if you got to take a gamble, do it. Watch the penetration by the offense into the defensive side of the ball. That's something they haven't seen much from the Washington offense. Watch Cortez Kennedy. That's where you want Cortez. You want Cortez down on the ground and not in your backfield.
Little swing right flat, and it is Brooks. He cuts back and is wrapped up immediately. He's going to pick up about 3 yards on the play. Terry Wooden was there, along with the middle linebacker Rod Stevens. So the clock continues to march, 1:45 and counting. We're in the waning moments of the third quarter. Seahawks 28, Redskins 7. Now Seattle, when we talked to them, very confident about making the playoffs, either winning the division or as a wild card. And that is a very tough division that they play in.
That's saying something, talking about winning the best division in the NFL.
Second down and 7. And the interception. A flag is down. Going into the end zone is Blackman. They may just bring this back. The play may have been called dead before the snap.
There was a slight jump there right before the snap of the ball.
We have a foul in the play. 5 yards, still second down.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, what happened, I don't want to know.
Watch the top of the screen right there. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think whether that was a touchdown or it was an offsides on Edwards, it's still a low ebb of enthusiasm and confidence for the Washington Redskins. I mean, it's hard to feel good about not giving up a touchdown.
That's a good point.
Interception for a touchdown.
Second down and 2. Here's the first down as Brooks picks it up. As he goes to the 45-yard line of Seattle. Rod Stevens was there along with Eugene Robinson. Meanwhile, the Redskins have moved from their own 29-yard line to the 45-yard line of the Seahawks. So for the third time in the ballgame, they have a pretty good drive going.
They've got some movement on the line.
And here is Brooks to the outside, and he is pulled down. And is Terry Wooden, who scored the touchdown off of the 69-yard interception in the first half for the Seahawks. As we'll take the countdown to the end of the quarter, 27 seconds and counting. And a little check of the flags. There's really not an advantage here because the wind swirls.
It really doesn't matter. You can look to your right and it's blowing. The flags are blowing towards you. And you look to your left and those flags are blowing towards you.
Over the middle and incomplete. And Freeze adds some pressure right up the middle. And it was from Brent Williams.
It's only a matter of time to get another ball brought back for a touchdown if you keep throwing the ball in the middle of the field with that many bodies in blue shirts crossing around your receivers.
The ball at the 44-yard line. It is third down and 9.
Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, his unit's done a fine job. And right now, the Skins are getting a little momentum. They're getting a little physical. They need a big play from wide receiver.
And they get it here from Henry Eller. That is catch number 600 in his career. And he makes the reception as the third quarter comes to a close. Seattle leading it 28-7. And we'll be right back for the fourth period after these messages from your local station. Henry Eller, 7 receptions, 105 yards. Here is his 7th. And his number 600 in his career.
Saw the catches, you saw the yards, and outside of Desmond Howard's one catch for the touchdown and the big play to Ethan Horton, it's been a one-man band for the wide receivers as far as Henry Eller's concerned.
Right, 105 yards. It's a first down at the 33-yard line. And we have whistles and flags. They're going to stop the play. Let's go back for a moment now to Henry Eller. With the 105 yards total in this ballgame, that means that he is only 134 yards shy of 10,000 yards, receiving yards, in his career.
False start prior to the snap. Number 85, 5 yards, still first down.
And what they won't do, they won't take 5 yards off Henry's stats for that little burp, a little hiccup in his stance.
You might wonder, 10,000 yards, just how long is that? That is almost 6 miles in reception. That's down the road a piece.
And some mornings he wakes up, I bet it feels like that too.
It does too. All right, first down and 15, and juggled and then dropped by Brian Mitchell as his struggle continues.
Yeah, this offense is struggling. Outside of Henry Eller, you're getting drop balls, you're getting miscommunications, you're getting patterns being run. I mean, receivers don't belong together. Look at Desmond Howard coming across the middle, running into his tight end, another back over the middle. That's not supposed to happen, and that's one of the things that North Turner has got to have the patience to watch for a while, because it's going to happen as guys learn this offense.
Second and 15. Here's the screen near side. It is Ricky Irwins. Irwins to the 30. Nice cutback. He is to the 20. Almost to the 15-yard line. Rod Stevens makes the tackle.
call, but what really makes this play special, watch the job that Irvins does, realizing where defenders are and where his blockers are. Little out, little in. Little out, little in. Just sort of going where his big guys are and their big guys aren't.
First down, 16-yard line. Irvins grew up in the shadow of the Rose Bowl. In fact, during Rose Bowl games, he earned some extra money as a kid by parking cars. And he gets the call here, and he came back to Park, Michigan in the Rose Bowl and in his junior year at SC and was the MVP.
So much pride in your voice talking about those Trojans.
Yes, well, they're good ball clubs. Just like you have it for the Bruins. And rightly so.
But he and Reggie Brooks are part of the new prototype halfbacks. You know, he's 5'7", about 2-something, and Reggie's 5'8", about 2-something. Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith. You know, how long ago was it everybody had to be a big guy?
Second and 11. This one is behind Brian Mitchell. It's going to be third down and 11.
If you look at the end of that play, did you see him stick his hand out? How many times do you see interceptions happen with what looks almost like a nonchalant reach back? It's not a legitimate opportunity or legitimate shot at trying to make a catch. It's just sort of batting the ball. It knocks it up in the air. And when things aren't going good, those go the other way. And today you could definitely say things are not going good for Brian Mitchell.
No, they're not. Third down and 11, 17-yard man. 14th play of the drive. Freeze dumps this one off to Wycheck. He's going to lean close to the 11-yard line. He's going to pick up about 6. But it's going to be fourth down. Patrick Hunter with the tackle. Now remember the Seahawks defense going without, and they're going to be out for the year, I understand, Nate Odoms and Kirby Jackson, both of them with knee problems. And they were expected to be either the starting cornerbacks or to see a lot of action.
And you're seeing Norv Turner here not worry too much about who they're going to play and what's going to go on. It's fourth down. He's going for it. He knows 28-7. You don't need a field goal. Going into the end zone. Now's when you wish you had a tight end.
And we have flags. It'll be a procedure call as one of the Redskins pull back too soon.
Number 79, prior to the snap.
Jim Lachey,
5 yards.
Second time he's been caught on that.
Now is when you kick the field goal. If you're Norv Turner, you show the composure of not tearing that headset off and throwing it on the ground and kicking something near you. Because, I mean, it's kind of like watching pros play golf, Charlie. Being a head coach isn't as easy as it looks.
You're right.
There's so many
That is apropos.
things. I think Norv Turner is going to be a very successful coach, but these growing pains are going to be acute for quite a while.
Chip Lohmiller with a 34-yard field goal attempt. He was perfect in preseason inside the 40, but he is going to miss here, and he misses big. Seahawks lead it 28-7. In profile behind the lovely lady, the legendary Jack Kent Cooke, the owner of the Washington Redskins. He is looking forward to a winning season, at least a 500 season. It's going to be a bit of a slow start, but I tell you, I'm very impressed by Norv Turner. I think that the future bodes well for the Washington Redskins. It's just going to take time.
This is an organization and city of extremely high expectations, and Mr. Cook spoke to those very well when he named his new head coach and says, well, we expect a 9-7 season. He wasn't putting pressure on. He wasn't saying 14-2, only 9-7.
Here's a little swing to Steve Smith, and he goes out of bounds, but he's got the first down for Seattle as we go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, at Indianapolis, how's this for an NFL debut? Marshall Faulk, 11 yards for his third touchdown, 23 carries, 143 yards on the day. The Colts leading the Oilers 42-0 in the third. Charlie and Randy?
And I always thought Marshall Faulk should have won the Heisman Trophy. Yeah. I think that he deserved it, and I think he's going to show in the pros just exactly how good a running back he truly is. And here's Chris Warren off the right side, out of bounds around the 43-yard line. So he has 6. It'll be second down and 4. Tyrone Stowe bumped him out. And Heath Schuler is loosening up again.
You mentioned that game at Indianapolis. You think Jack Pardee and the Oilers might be thinking about, well, if we flew in, could we practice in San Antonio and not have to go home?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's a city, too, of great expectations of their football team, and to start off this way is just pathetic.
Yeah. Flores tells us about Rick Meyer last year that when he would run, he didn't do it here because he got out of bounds, is that he was hit, he was diving and scrambling forward, and said he walked by him one time and he said, son, did you ever play baseball? He said, yes. Said, well, did you slide head first? He turned and walked away, and Rick said, I got the message.
Well, I tell you, one of the advantages both these young quarterbacks have is having head coaches who themselves were quarterbacks.
Yes.
They can relate on a very personal basis to everything these guys go through.
First down. And Chris Warren, and he's going to pick up a couple of yards. Lamar Mills makes the tackle. Now we know, of course, that Tom Flores, the pro quarterback with the Raiders, Norv Turner, quarterback at Oregon, 72, 73, and 74. And guess who was ahead of him?
A Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Dan Fouts.
Yeah, and they're very close friends.
Close friends to this day, and you know, a lot of people were a little surprised that Dan didn't possibly follow with Norv and go through the coaching job and get into this business.
That just might do it. Pump fake. Nobody is deep. Comes back, drops it off to Farrell Edmonds, just inside the 45-yard line. So it should be third down and short as Kurt Gouveia. Now Seattle very confident, as we mentioned, in a very tough division. Kansas City, and they have their hands full right now in New Orleans. San Diego plays at Denver later on this afternoon, and the Raiders at the 49ers tomorrow night on the Monday night game. So to be able to kind of by Tuesday morning do a comparison, a chance to see most of the teams in the West, and that is a tough division.
I think what makes that division, I think, doubly tough at this time, Charlie, is the fact that there are so many good teams in the division, and they're going to knock each other off. Last year, 7-9 was 5th place. This year, I think it's going to be 8-8, and there's going to be 2 teams win at least 11 games.
Meanwhile, Chris Warren has rushed for 101 yards in this ball game. John Vaughn has now replaced him. He carried on that last play. The ball at the Redskins 37-yard line. Meanwhile, Heath Schuler is loosening up on the sideline for the Redskins. 8:55 and counting. There's the time. John Vaughn. And speaking of AFC teams, a lineup of the ball games you will see on NBC next week. Miami, Green Bay, Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Those are the early games. Houston at Dallas, Seattle at the Raiders, Denver against the Jets. And that's an excellent lineup here on NBC of NFL football.
How excited are the Houston Oilers going to be when they get on their charter and say, well, we just got the tar beat out by the Colts, but hey, we get Dallas next week.
It'll be a long flight home.
If you liked Marshall Faulk, boys, you're going to love him.
The sequel. And John Vaughn, bouncing off of a Redskin, spins his way to the 30-yard line. Andre Collins finally stops him. The ball at the 30, and the clock continues to move. 7:55 and counting. Seahawks comfortably in front of the Redskins by a score of 28-7. Washington led early in the ball game, scoring on the freeze to Desmond Howard 27-yard touchdown pass with 11:06 left to go in the first quarter. The Seahawks' first score of the ball game came some 5 minutes later, and since then it has been all Seahawks. A reverse and dropped and then recovered by Brian Blaze after the fake inside, and a wide receiver reverse, and the free agent from Indiana, LaVar Mills, was there to cover it.
For all the simplistic kind of vanilla stuff that was going on with the running and the short passing, Seattle and Tom Flores throws this in. It's a good time to run it. I think next week's opponent, now the Los Angeles Raiders, have seen a reverse. It didn't work well. But now there's a little something else that Mr. Flores makes those guys think about.
Just one more thing they have to prepare for.
One more, which translates to about 3 more minutes. When you're on the field, it's about 3 extra minutes. You got to run it for the offense. You got to run it for the defense. You got to repeat it.
Meanwhile, the loneliest man here at RFK Stadium, number 30, Brian Mitchell, as he stands at the 30-yard line.
On the offense.
The Seahawks will wait for the delay of game. They take the full countdown. It is declined. But they do run some time off the clock. 6:46 left. I'd like to see Mitchell bust a good return. I really would. Give him some confidence back.
Norv would like to see him catch it, run with it, and hold on to it.
High, lazy floater. He calls for the fair catch, and he takes it at the 18-yard line. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. 28-7 Seahawks.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the all-new 1995 Eclipse from Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By the 25th anniversary diamond necklace for a brilliant celebration of your loving marriage. By Edge Shave Gel, ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be.
This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross with 6:23. That is the time remaining in the ball game. Seattle leading the Redskins 28-7. Heath Schuler makes his second appearance in the ball game. 7 plays in the first half. He drops this one off to Ricky Irvins. And he is going to pick up about 4 yards on the play, and that is his first completion of the ball game.
It's his first career, and Norv's giving him a steady appetite. You know, we talked earlier about, hey, I know this whole offense, let's run it. Norv's just calling some very simple plays for Heath, and it's just a limited amount. He's letting Heath run the ones he knows, not the ones Norv knows.
And you had to look at the quarterback comparison. Schuler pumps, rolls out, staggers back, throws back, picks up a man. Nice move. He has a great athletic ability, and one of the things that Norv told us about, Norv Turner, the head coach, is that he really comes alive during the game when he is playing, and now we're seeing him just begin to settle in.
Well, watch this. I mean, he's running backwards. Now he's going to square. He's going to... A lot of quarterbacks have great athletic ability. What sets the great ones apart on the move, the Montanas, the Cunninghams, guys like that, is their ability to focus and think when others can't.
First down at the 30-yard line. Schuler, a deep sideline pattern is dropped. Desmond Howard, the intended receiver. Now for an update, let's go to New York City, gentlemen.
Charlie, in New Orleans, the Chiefs have no quarterback problems. Joe Montana's up over 300 yards. This is second TD pass of the game to Keith Cash, a 2-yarder, 27-10 Chiefs. Back to you, Charlie.
And so in the West, Seattle comfortably in front of Washington. The Chiefs on their way to the victory. The Raiders play the 49ers tomorrow night. And later on this afternoon, San Diego at Denver. That's going to be a fun division to do, to watch and to broadcast. Here's Ricky Irvins. Irvins needs to get back into the role that he had a couple of years ago. He had such his rookie year, he just kind of burst on the scene, and then his numbers have trailed off as they've gone, in the last couple of years. But he can, he's a good return man. He is a good receiver, a good rusher. He does a little of this, a little of that. And they need to get him back to his 1991 performance where he had 680 yards rushing.
The difficulty for young players is getting their production up to where people tell them it should be.
Good point. He goes deep. Desmond, does he have it? No. He only has 1 foot in bounds.
You know, young players, and now Desmond Howard would be another good example, they're constantly told once they do something good how great they are. Well, greatness is longevity, and greatness is being able to stay in and make the plays. You see 1 foot in, left foot out, that's not a catch. Greatness here, if you talk about wide receivers, greatness was Art Monk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, He lasted a long time. He did it all. greatness for a running back, you're talking about the Riggins, you're talking about the Biners, the guys that have done it and won the big things. Mitchell had a good rookie year. I think thought a little bit too much of his abilities and what he could do. Dropped off his second year, held out his third year. It was tough.
Greatness is doing it every Sunday afternoon. Here's the kick, and Kelvin Martin grabs it at the 26-yard line. We'll step aside. Back in a moment. Tonight on NBC, don't miss a double feature of movie. It's starting at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, with the comedy adventure Police Academy 6, City Under Siege, starring Bubba Smith. And then stay tuned for the murder mystery Confessions, Two Faces of Evil, starring Jason Bateman. That's all tonight here on NBC. And for the Seattle Seahawks, here's John Vaughn. And we have a couple of flags down as he is going to pick up just over 10 yards on the play.
As Ken Harvey got a hold of the wrong thing. He got a little face mask. He was trying to bring Mr. Vaughn down.
And of course, you have the option of the 5 or the 15.
Well, considering he didn't let go, that could be a blatant.
Yes.
Face mask, 5 yards, number 57 of the defense. As a result of the penalty, the yardage will make a first down.
I guess he held on it but didn't mean it. So
well, I think the fact that he didn't twist.
Right.
You know, I think they call the 15 more when they twist or pull the neck and cause that. So it's a first down for the Seahawks at their own 41-yard line. And again, next week, Seattle in Los Angeles against the Raiders as part of the second half of the doubleheader on NBC. And the Washington Redskins will be in New Orleans against the Saints. And content to stay on the ground, here is John Vaughn again. And they obviously are working on the clock. Darryl Green makes the tackle. They simply want to run the time down. 4:25 and counting. And by the way, the Seattle Seahawks on September the 18th, they will host the San Diego Chargers. That game will be at Husky Stadium, and their September the 25th game. They will host Pittsburgh, also at Husky Stadium, and that game is scheduled for a 3 o'clock start on that Sunday afternoon. The Charger game on the 18th is a 1 o'clock start at Husky Stadium. First down, Seattle. And John Vaughn continues to impress us as a running back.
Exactly, and this is an example of what we refer to when I was playing as a 4-minute offense, where you got it towards the end of the game and you just said, sorry guys, you're not getting it back, and all we're going to do is we're going to pound the ball, we're getting first downs, and we're just going to run it. This is sort of the garbage time, stat-wise, but this is the time of the game now. Tom Flores is getting a great opportunity to see John Vaughn behind the starting offensive line, working against a first-team defense, and it's a better look than he'll ever think about getting in the preseason this day.
And as you saw, he's rushed for 44 yards. And a second down and 7. And here is Vaughn to the outside. And he cuts back. And near the 30-yard line. Ken Harvey with the tackle.
Seems right now that little of the zips has definitely gone out of the Washington Redskins defense, where they were maintaining that backside pursuit and their position and making the tackles. That's just not happening now.
Chris Warren, 22 carries, 100 yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns. So he is well on his way to his 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season. He's off to a good start. And here is Steve Smith. Smith formerly with the Raiders. In fact, his rookie year, Tom Flores was his head coach. And the Raiders, the last 3 or 4 years, have used him to block, block, and block. And although he is a very good blocker, like any other back, he wants to rush with the ball a little more and to catch the ball, and he's very capable of doing it. He's an excellent addition for the Seattle Seahawks. 2-minute warning to both benches. We'll step aside. Seahawks lead at 28-7. We have 2 minutes left in the opener here at RFK. The Seattle Seahawks out in front of the Redskins 28-7. And by the way, just as a footnote, to the fourth quarter. John Vaughn, 8 carries and rushed for 58 yards. Second down and 4. The ball at the 25-yard line. And Steve Smith comes plowing over the right side.
Now, right now, this part of the performance, the last few plays, we mentioned how the enthusiasm and pop seems to be going out of the Washington Redskins defense. Part of that's good blocking, which it obviously is by Seattle, and part of it is sort of giving up. And, you know, Norv Turner can do some things about a lot of stuff here. He can fix the offense. He can fix a lot of things. He doesn't get mad if you drop a ball. He shouldn't get mad if you jump offside once in a while. But when you have sloppy tackling and it looks like poor effort, that makes a coach mad.
Steve Smith, the remaining back. Born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area, so it's a bit of a homecoming for Steve. And he has a chance to show off his running ability before family and friends. And it's going to be second down. Andre Collins with that last tackle for the Redskins.
Well, this Seahawks team it would appear to be one that is going to do nothing but get even better when they start getting some bodies back.
Yes.
I mean, they've been banged up. Sinclair couldn't start in the defensive line. You know, what happens there? Well, he's going to come back, but so far today for them, they got a good effort from Antonio Edwards.
And Sam Adams, their top draft choice. And he will come back, and just kneeling down is Rick Meyer. And the future really does look good, doesn't it?
Maybe it wasn't cockiness. Maybe it was confidence.
All right.
Mitsubishi Motors presents Diamonds in the Rough. Signed as an undrafted free agent, this wide receiver was cut or released 3 times before finally making the grade. Who is this diamond in the rough?
Introducing the all-new 1995 Eclipse from Mitsubishi. The new thinking in automobiles.
Tom Waddle never veered from his goal and finally struck gold, becoming the Bears' leader in receptions and yardage in 1993 and has become a Chi-Town favorite. Tom Waddle, a true diamond in the rough.
Now, to each man who shaves, there's an edge all his own. Only Edge Gel has 8 custom formulas to fit every shaving need. From tough beards to sensitive skin. For a close, comfortable shave, get an edge of your own. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge. And try improved Edge aftershave, now more soothing than ever.
It is now official. There had been a call for a timeout. It was waved off. They just took the countdown to the end of the ball game as fans and people every time congregated on the field. The final once again is Seattle 28 and the Washington Redskins 7. So a good start for the Seahawks. The Redskins still, of course, with a lot of work to be done this year. And stay with us for the post-game show here on NBC, as Greg Gumbel and his friends will have an opportunity to check out all of the scores and highlights around the National Football League this afternoon. We're glad that you could join us here at RFK Stadium. Stay tuned for the post-game show. For Randy Cross, I'm Charlie Jones. Once again, the Seahawks defeat the Redskins 28-7.